Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the Pirate Alliance Kizuna Clash versus Rob Lucci for the 6+ of Jewelry Bonnie. And this particular Kizuna Clash is very interesting because Bonnie's a very good Super Evolution, and I would highly recommend staying on top of your assists because Bonnie turns into a cerebral character with her Super Evolution, so you want to max out her skulls, get that Super Evolution locked down, pick up your copy from Pirate Rumble, and call it a day. Because I feel like this particular character is going to be very, very good on a lot of Cerebral-based teams. She works very well with all the Vegapunk batch. In today's video, we are going to be talking about some buildable teams for you guys to take down all the 10-star variations. Now, sometimes I do one team versus alls and whatnot, but with the update to the Kizuna information, we basically get given a team slot for each color now, so I don't really see a need to do one team versus alls anymore. But if you guys want, let me know in the comment section below. While you're down there, by the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification because we will be doing a lot more content on Kizuna. We'll have stuff like Momo, maybe even Marco teams, boosted teams, high damage teams, all that fun stuff, and then obviously all the playthroughs. So if you want to stay up to date with OPTC content, hit that bell notification for me. And if you want to support me even more, hit that little join button for me. It's only about $1, and it helps me out a great deal, and you get access to some early content. But don't stress, if you're not a member, you will get access to all content eventually. So, let's scroll on down here. Let's take a look at the Kizuna Clash. And let's dive into the first variation. Now, the first variation of Rob Lucci is Strength. So, you want to be building out quick-based teams that are utilizing slashes, driven, and cerebral characters. Now, obviously, with the release of the man on the left that you see on the screen, Vegapunk is going to be the man to use for all of these teams. However, I have built them out in a way that doesn't use Vegapunk as a friend captain. If you can find a friend captain Vegapunk, awesome, you're going to get more points, and I would highly recommend doing that. But these teams that you see in today's video can use a variety of different friend captains. All of the teams are built to beat the content no matter who your friend captain is, and you can literally run anyone that has synergy with the team that you're about to see. But if you can find Vegapunk, you're going to get more points, and I highly recommend utilizing your Vegapunk friend captains. So, Driven, Cerebrals, and Slashes get all the good stuff. On stage 2, there's 5 turns of Special One on your Sailors, 2 turns of Special Reverse, and an Intimidation for a set chain multiplier or chain boost, reducing it by 1 turn for 2 turns. Oh, sorry, it reduces the status effect turn, by 1 turn. So, if you use a 3-turn chain lock, it's going to go down to 2 turns. If you use a 1-turn chain lock or a chain boundary, it's going to go down to 0, which is very odd because, the CP0 character, screams at me for this content, but they just don't want your chain boundary, I guess. You can actually use them still for the special mind, but look, hey, we move. As for level 30, the enemy does different stuff when we hit 31, and the teams are all built with level 31 in mind. They're not going to go to the craziest depths of the content, but they're still going to be able to beat level 31. Defense down immunity, instant defeat specials, and Grey Shield. You get 9 turns of Bind and Despair. The Bind is only on your right-hand side. The Despair is obviously on your captains. This will go down to 6 turns after sockets. And then all orbs will be turned into poison slots. So every single orb except for Wano and Rainbow, obviously, will get transferred into a poison slot. So you can bypass this with Wano orbs and Rainbow orbs if you want to. And a character that's very good for that would be using something like Hiyori. On the final stage 2, there's normal attacks only. An attack down of 90% if you're below a 3.5 times chain lock. And a 3-turn slot barrier for tandem orbs. If you guys use any chain boundaries, chain boosts, chain locks on the final stage, the enemy is going to give you 6 turns of attack down for unlimited times and remove all your beneficial effects. But remember, chain locks, they're not beneficial technically, so you can cop it one time if you bring an attack down remover. However, the team that we're using looks a bit like this. Now, with the amount of legends in the game, I've just sort of thrown on a lot of characters that can legend characters that can bypass this content. We are using Shanks Crew as our captain. If you guys don't have the 6+ of Shanks Crew, like I said, you can run a friend captain of the 6+ Shanks Crew. However, he's pretty essential for this particular team to operate. And the reason that is his captain ability will actually extend the chain locking ability that he can provide. So you can switch with him on turn 2, give yourself a full board of orbs, give yourself an attack boost, go into the quick variation, utilize his special, and then that way you're going to give yourself 3 turns of a base stat boost and a 4-turn chain lock. That's going to help you guys get into the final stage, and you're just going to be able to get around that wham bam thank you man. The character also removes Special Bind as a captain, and then that allows you to use Hack as a 2-turn special reverser. Now, if you guys don't have hack, you can use like Carrot Wonder, like that'll work fine. Any character that is cerebral, that can give you 2 turns of cooldown, is going to work really, really nicely here. However, I did take that into consideration for people that don't have hack, and I included Robin and Koala. Now, Robin and Koala do give 2 turns of cooldown, but they also remove barriers. So they're another character that can actually give your cerebral characters 2 turns of cooldown, and then you can just replace hack with another barrier remover if you want. Or you could just use someone like Queen to give you a full bot of tandem mobs. But Robin and Koala are going to be your barrier remover on the final stage. You can use them for color affinity as well with their super swap. They're going to give you an orb buff as well. They give you so many different buffs that it just works out so nicely. So once you get into the final stage, you can utilize Robin Koala to remove the barrier. You have a color affinity, you have an orb boost, you have a chain lock, you have a base stat boost, and then you can actually use Chopper to remove all those poison orbs. Chopper's also going to remove your bind and your despair by 6 turns. If you guys don't have Chopper super evolved, you're just going to need a couple of supports here to just remove more turns of that. Or you could just replace Black Maria on this team with someone that's going to remove more turns of Bind and Despair. Now, Black Maria is great, though, because she actually gives you a conditional boost as well as a condition that she applies. So she's a self-rocking conditional booster. She also boosts slot effects, but look, that's not what she's here for. She's basically just here to be your conditional booster for the team. You can replace her with something like, if you're not using Robin Koala, you can use like the Super Sugo Robin, those types of characters. But again, if you guys don't have Chopper Super Evolved, you are going to need a little bit more Bind, a little bit more Despair. But again, you have a lot of supports that you guys can use for this team that are going to help you out there. As for the friend captain, if you can find a Vegapunk friend captain, I would highly recommend utilizing Vegapunk. He can then be your color affinity booster. You just use his special and he's just going to be color affinity. And if you want to, he can just be like an attack boost as well, because that's what this team's missing. However, because we're using Shanks Crew 6+, if we use a friend captain Shanks Crew 6+, you can actually super swap with the other one on the final stage, get an attack boost, use this special of... Oh, actually, no, you only get base stats, but that's okay. Use the special of Shanks Crew, the friend captain, and you just have like 2 big captains. So that way you'll still have your attack boost, but you will be missing color affinity. Actually, no, you won't, because you got Robin Koala. Robin Koala's your color affinity boost to Stump. What are you talking about, mate? See, like I said, I knew that I put the effort in to make all the teams work without friend captain. So that's the team. No supports needed. You guys can slap on any supports that you want if you need. Again, if you need more bind, you need more spare. Cat Viper support on Chopper gives you some bind removal. There's the Morley and the Karasu support for Robin and Koala. You got options. Like, there's plenty of options there that you guys can use if you guys need a little bit more utility. Moving on to the next variation of Rob Lucci. He is a Psy character this time, so you want to be building out Int teams that are also Powerhouse, Free Spirit, and Cerebral. Again, Vegapunk and Sharka, they are going to be the boosted characters. On stage 2, you get 3 turns of Poison and 5 turns of Bind on your top row after sockets. After level 31, you're going to have to deal with the Grey Shield and Immune to Defeat. All orbs will turn to bomb slots. All orbs for 5 turns will get a 90% attack down, except for bomb and tandem orbs. You take 150,000 damage on entry. There is full immunity to everything except delay. 5 turns of paralysis, 6 turns of special mind only on your crewmates, and then 3 turns of a 1.1 slot effect boost, as well as normal attacks only. So, as you can see, like... They really want you to use Vegapunk. They really want you to use Alice. They really want you to use all those characters. But we're not going to be utilizing those characters today, guys. We're utilizing non-new batch teams with Vivi as a captain. Once again, characters that can remove special bind are just so good. Like, they're just absolutely elite. And I would say use something like Superclass Doflamingo, or I would say use something like Shanks Crew here. However, Vivi is the best option, even though she's not an in-character, because on the final stage, you get a 1.1 times orb boost, and Vivi actually has the ability to give you a 3-turn orb buff. So, what you want to do is use her special on turn 2, and that way you can get the 3-turn orb buff, carried into the final stage, and not have to worry about that very annoying debuff, because there is no remove beneficial effects, which is very, very nice. Vivi's great. She removes the special bind. She just works out wonderfully. On the final stage, though, you do take 150,000 damage, which is a lot of damage. So, you do either want to bring someone that can tank it, like Yamato that I included on this team, the 5+ Yamato. She's going to just give you 80% damage reduction for 2 turns, which is going to allow you to just take a damage reduction into that final stage as well. You just easily tank it that way. Fortunately, you don't really get much of her the other shit that she provides, but she's going to take on the shittier support for us, and that way we can get around Poison. I do have Chopper on this team too. He's going to remove the bind on stage 2, plus he gives you a massive heal, so honestly, like, I'm not sure how the team will rock. The heal might be enough. Chopper's heal getting over the threshold of your HP might give you enough HP to tank the 150k. Remember, regular sockets will come into play with that, so you should get like 15% damage reduction. But so you might not even need Yamato. And if you don't need Yamato, you can just replace Yamato with anything else that's going to give you more damage on this particular team. But because we have a full Free Spirit Cerebral build with either Vegapunk as a friend captain, another Vivi as a friend captain, hell, you can run on like a Reiju as a friend captain if you really want to for that poison removal, then you are going to get access to Vivi's super type for the final stage, which is going to allow you guys to get an attack boost as well. So Vivi's just providing so much to this particular team. She's giving attack boost, she's giving you all buffs, she's removing the special bind, and you're pretty much hunky-dory from there. Finally, on the final stage, you can remove some special bind with the Nami and Usopp character, but they're actually here basically just to remove the paralysis and give us a conditional boost. Remember, the enemy's not immune to delay, so you can actually super swap with them, and then that'll give you the conditional boost with their super swap. You can then apply the delay with their special, remove the paralysis, give yourself color affinity as well as increase that conditional boost as well. So very, very nice stuff from them. They can actually remove Bind and Despair with their swap, but I would definitely save their swap for the final stage. Finally, we have Queen. Legend Queen is just, again, showing Queen's worth. Even with the nerf, he's still very, very good. He gives you a full body Tandem Orbs, and that's literally the only reason he's here. You can put Robin Koala here if you want to. Or actually, no, you can't, because you need a full body Tandem Orbs. I'm a smackhead. If you have Atlas, you can just use Atlas. But utilizing Queen is going to just give you a full body Tandem Orbs, and that's an easy way to bypass the Tandem Orb barrier. If you want to, you can utilize the free-to-play Luffy. He gives you a full body Tandem Orbs, and then you can just like do some fun stuff with like bind and moving on Ace and whatnot. You can also use a friend captain V2 Shanks for this particular team if you can't find Vegapunk friend captains, or if you have V2 Shanks yourself and you want like more damage, you can just use a friend captain V2 Shanks. That's going to give you a attack boost, a chain boost. He also removes paralysis as well, but he also gives you base stats too. So you have a lot of options with this team. It should work fairly nicely. I tried to include not a lot of supports, but again, all of these legends are regular summonable legends. And with the amount of legends in the game nowadays, I feel pretty comfortable putting on these buildable teams. But again, you guys have options if you guys need some replacements. Chopper, just replace him with a bind remover. Queen, again, free-to-play Luffy will work absolutely fine, and then you're off to the races that way. Moving on to the final variation, which is the Dex variation of Lucci, and this one's a doozy because there's actually a random effect, which is super annoying. Once again, Vegapunk and Shaka are the recommended characters. Strength, Dex, and in characters get all the good stuff, and on stage 2, there is 90% attack down for 5 turns and 5 turns of threshold over 1,000 damage. When you defeat the enemy, he just retreats and heals himself back up. After level 31, Rob Lucci is going to be immune to defeat specials and have Grey Shield. There's that random possible action, which I will explain in a second. 10 turns of Despair, so 7 turns after sockets. 5 turns of Pain at 25k after any action is taken. Remove your beneficial effects, which is very, very annoying. 1 turn of Fear, and then 5 turns of Special Bind, as well as full immunity except for delay and normal attacks only. So the possible random action for level 7 is you have the random action of the following. So he puts up an Intimidate for all of them, but the random action comes into play where it's like 1 turn of attack boosting and chain boosting, and then I think it's like attack and orb boosting, and then it's like orb boosting and conditional, attack boosting conditional. So it's like a different combination of particular buffs that get intimidated. For your 10-star, which is what we're focusing on today, it's 2 turns intimidation, which is just absolutely disgusting. It's very, very annoying to deal with because you can't bring buffs into this stage. If you use a beneficial effect, it's going to get removed unless you have a character that can avoid that with something like Roger or whatnot. But you can't bring in buffs. However, you can use 3-turn buffs on the final stage. However, the more special you use on the final stage, the more damage you're going to take with that very annoying pain ability. So pretty annoying stuff with this particular variation. This one is by far the worst. You have 1 turn of Fear to deal with. You have to deal with Special Bind, all of that very annoying stuff as well. So just be mindful of that when you are team building. But the team I put together looks a little bit like this. Now, on stage 2, we're going to remove the attack down and the threshold with the Fuki Mijojo unit. He basically covers you for both attack down and threshold. He's got you covered. He's going to remove it. He also gives you a chain boost and gives you a bunch of Wano orbs as well, which is going to help out taking down this particular stage. I don't know what the variation is going to look like, so if you guys can find a friend captain Vegapunk, you can do something like this, so Vegapunk hits very hard. Remember, Vegapunk's going to be rainbow damage, but if you don't find a friend Captain Vegapunk and you're using something like another VV, it's really not going to matter where you actually put the units. When you move into the final stage, you are going to lose your positive effects. However, we are running a full Cerebral team. Again, with your friend Captain, just make sure it's Free Spirit Cerebral. If you're using another VV, great. If you're using any other Strength character, just make sure it's Free Spirit. You should be fine. Or if you're using Vegapunk, Vegapunk is a Cerebral Free Spirit as well, so that's going to work out great. But remember, I've built the teams designed for utilizing a counterpart of themselves or finding Vegapunk if you can. So if you find VV, you can actually use one of the VV specials on turn 2 and activate a super type, so that way you still have an attack boost and an orb boost to take down stage 2 anyway. If you are using Vegapunk, you can just save Vegapunk for the final stage. If you need to use Vegapunk on this particular turn, you can just use him here. Pick any 2 buffs you like and just easily take out that particular stage. Moving on to the final stage, though, you are going to have to get around 7 turns of Despair, as well as getting around that very annoying random Intimidation. So our VV and Reiju are going to be your attack booster and your orb boosters for 3 turns. However, just with the 2 specials alone, you're going to take a whopping 50,000 damage. So what I would recommend doing is putting on a ship that's just going to give you the highest HP that you have. Like, as much HP as you can give yourself, I would highly recommend doing so. And just putting on as many supports that are going to give you HP as well. That's going to be the wave moving forward. Because you're definitely going to need a super swap of Usopp and Nami, as well as the special of Stussy. Utilizing the super swap of Nami and Usopp is going to remove 2 turns of Bind and Despair. Make sure you start as Nami, so that way Nami gets her super swap cooldowns. And then utilizing Stussy is going to remove the other 5 turns of Despair. Now, she's level in rank 5. She's a free-to-play character. Like, just go get her from the shop. If you don't, like, just bring anyone else that's going to be, like, a 5-turn Despair remover, and you should be absolutely fine. Because VV's removing the special bind anyway. If the Despair hits first, though, that might be a little bit of a problem. Because if the Despair hits before the special binds... Oh, no, the special bind's on... Oh, yeah. What? If the Despair hits before the special binds, then unfortunately VV won't work. So that's why I included Stussy, because she also removes special bind. But you do have Nami and Usopp once again. They can also remove special bind as well. If you don't have Stussy, like I said, don't stress. You can just go find another Despair remover and you will be absolutely fine. With this, you do need around 100,000 HP. So I know it's a lot. But unfortunately, there's not really that many other units that can get around all of the shenanigans that is Pain. I mean, if you've got something like Boa, you could probably include Boa. If you could find a way to put on Shirahoshi Mancherry, you could definitely do Shirahoshi Mancherry. That's going to work out fine as well. But look, you might have to sacrifice like an attack boost, an orb boost, something like that when it comes to the final stage, depending on how much damage you actually need, or depending on how much HP your team actually has. So you have over 125,000 HP, you're going to be able to activate everything, you're going to be absolutely fine, and there should be no issues whatsoever. However, getting over 125,000 HP nowadays, it's not exactly the most easiest thing to do, unless you bring someone that can actually give you a lot of HP. But they're the buildable teams for this particular Kizuna Clash 10-star. Hopefully they help you guys out, and if they do, make sure to go down there, build the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, if you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's